Hi folks, today I bring to you a driver I already used before. Anyway, this is one implementation where this driver is used as a cascade. The first driver have the pins strobe and latch shunted to the latch of the second driver, and it is present at connector bar as a strobe 1. The output data from the first go to the data in of the second driver, and the pin strobe of the second driver is standalone and is present at the connector bar named as a strobe 2. The pin of clock is chanted in both drivers. I only return to this driver because the use of these VFDs have one funny application of the clock of the pointers. I don't explore this so profound, but let hear how the idea work. First of all, we are in front of a VFD with 3 grids, the left, center and the right grid. The total of the pins controlled by the drivers is 64, 32 each, of course. 3 of these pins are our grids. We have a bit to identify the grid left, the grid of the center, and the grid right. I let the code with the 3 lines where I present the bits of the total of the grids points and other pins. You need doing the homework and try find it, change bit by bit of each block of the bytes, the 4 bytes, okay? Because each driver use a total of the 32 pins to be controlled, and these 32 pins in this code I adapt. I send a burst of 8 bits each block, okay? You can change this, or you can send a burst of 32 bytes or 64 if you prefer, okay? This is one example, and you can adapt how you need, okay? You need to know the connections of the VFD. Is the first pin in the left side is the data in. The second pin is clock. These 3 pins I don't make the identification, but is not relevant. After you have the strobe 1, and this strobe 1 will control this first driver, okay? The pin of the strobe and latch is chanted, and have also a chant to the second latch of this driver here, okay? After you have the GND pin, the strobe 2. This strobe 2 is the standalone pin of the strobe in this driver, okay? After you have the VCC, in this case I'm using 5 volts DC, which coming from the Arduino direct, okay, is not relevant. After you have the VCC 1, VCC 2. The VCC 2 is the pin number 1 of the driver, and this pin receive the power up of the voltage to the grids, okay? In this case, the voltage supported by this pin will be situated between 0 volts and 60 volts, okay? I repeat, the VCC1 is pin 14, in this case I'm using 5 volts DC, but this pin support between 4.5 volts until 15 volts. Okay, note this variation. Assume you are using, for example, the TTL voltage or CMOS voltage. Okay, depending of the connection you send between your microcontroller and the driver of the VFD. In this case, because we are using the Arduino, the voltage of the VCC1 is the 5 volts DC, okay? After you have two pins with the filament 1 and filament 2. In this case, these two pins receive the voltage to polarize the filament. Note I'm connected the voltage of the grids direct because this pin is very teeny to support all the current of the filament. In this case, I provide to the filaments 130 milliamperes, okay? And also is important, you see here a black wire connected to the GND of the Arduino. This is the reference of the voltage to the filament current, okay? The power up of the filament is independent power source. This is important, and I need mark a reference to this power source. In this case, I connect the 0 GND or the ground between one of the pins of the filament to the pins with the GND of the Arduino. Is only one reference, okay? This is not relevant, but if you don't have the reference, you still with the float voltage and the system don't work. Also, you can see here at shadows which result of the power filament with the DC voltage, okay? Because this is 2.1 volts in DC, you stay in front of these shadows in the filaments, okay? Grid 1, grid 2, grid 3. Okay, I refer in the program grid left, grid center, and grid right, but you can use the reference you want, okay? The pins coming from the Arduino is data in, clock, and strobe. In this case, I'm using a second strobe, but you can use these pins to control the driver's VFD, and this is enough to have this result. Okay, good luck.